I'm just seeing how many people I can like hate farm on just one person's campaign. I'll find out today. So I made a new bracelet. Able to hold this while using your compass and flip that up. The only reason why I have this little flap there is to protect from the sun. But now, if you want a viewfinder, you can kind of use that and pick, you know, from afar or whatever. See what I mean? Kind of see the direction of whatever direction you're in, whatever. Yeah. So it's kind of engineered, but that protects the sun from beating down on it and doing damage to the actual compass. This is to hold it in place while you're trying to use it. So it's another little thing that I made last night, or I finished last night. But this is going to be the interesting part, is when I remake one of these. So I'm going to make a new one of these fully out of steel. This is what I made out of. So I used this metal, this steel, and I made that. And I should be able to make another one. So the reason why I want to make another one is because I want to have like diversity. I want to be able to put it on this or that or the other. I want to put it in different places. Be able to take it out of its holder. Because I realized that I can't really turn this into too much of a universal setup. But I have two more of these rings. And I got one more clip. So that's pretty good. Very basic. Getting these bends right, that takes years of practice, trying to get like specific bends like that and knowing what your pressure points are, but some of you might be able to figure it out. See, this is flexible just to a certain degree for a reason. See that? But I made things semi-flexible but rigid at the same time. Yeah, I'm going to see how many political rage clicks I can get out of Spencer Pratt. It was funny because like somebody's like, "Oh, you're starting to sound like a liberal," and I was like, "Have you paid attention to my channel? Do you even know me?" I lean liberal. In reality, I lean liberal. But here's the thing: is without conservatism, without a republic, you don't get this whole two-party system. You don't get any of that without having an established republic. The way that we have it, it's a democratic republic. We get to choose who represents us, but those representatives are like hardcore. Those are like set in stone for a limited time for that term. I just used up all the battery in my bike. And back, I gotta put it on the charger. An extra $2 tip. Last order. Yesterday I got a $10 tip on a $5 order. Well, welcome. So this video is just literally, maybe I'll come up with something to make while I'm here. Because I want to stop scrolling on my phone. I want to make stuff. What can I make out of leather? What can I make that's useful out of wire and leather? So I made this. I can get real intricate with it. It's a phone holder. So you clip the phone in there and yeah. But made this today, last night, and it has a cover to protect from sun, so the sun isn't damaging your compass, but it's literally just a compass. And while you're using it, you can flap that over or whatever, and then you get that as a viewfinder. So you're like trying to find, that specific, trying to see off in the distance. You can use it like that. That's cool. And I got that as a holder to hold it while you're trying to calculate. I saw a billion people just like jump on, so I was like, sure. This was my old design, which is like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's directly exposed to the sun at all times. So that thing's gonna warp at some point. You don't want your compass to warp when you're relying on it for survival. But what else can I make? I looked into electricity and I found out that, wait a second, so if I spin this manually, this is actually creating a charge at that point? Oh, okay. So I could literally turn this into a generator if I wanted. The only problem is that I need a regulator. So you need like a voltage regulator and a rectifier. Apparently the rectifier can be pulled from another, like a wall outlet block. But I wish I had some kind of expert just to run me through it real quick and show me how to turn this into a generator. And then to hold a charge, like I got this. I don't know if I could maybe get a charge in, like use a generator to charge this up. That's where everybody's minds have to be at right now. You have to think of, if you can do these things easily, set up 15, maybe even 50 generators of that kind. Get them ready, because you might be able to just make trades on them. So if you're good with that kind of stuff, right now is the time to prepare for the next generation of business, because it's going to be a barter and trade system. Yeah, we're going to have AI and stuff, but AI isn't going to be able to tell you what's worth it and what's not when bartering and trading. So you're better off having a lot of extra stuff for barter and trade. But that's only before shit actually hits the fan. My opinion is in 2029, AI fully takes over. 2027 is the beginning of it. You're going to see us quickly drifting into full AI apocalypse and stuff like that. But by 2032, everybody throws away their phones. So nobody has phones by 2032 in the Western world. And by that time, you're going to want to be completely independent. So everybody has like 5 or 6 years to get ready. And then by 2034, those who still have these devices are likely listening to the Chinese Communist Party. So if you're reliant on this technology, China is your next government. So we'll have AI government from like 2029 to 2033 or 34. And then, this is my theory, and then China will take over, because they'll have the AI and US will run out of funds to continue, grifting over to AI and stuff. You see the crypto market completely crashing right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues crashing. It was either going this way or it was going that way. And what I said was that if there's not enough utility added to these tokens, then they're completely useless. You need utility. Ethereum had the potential for utility, but everything that has to do with Ethereum and base network, it's all collapsed. So really, if you're looking forward to like investing and stuff, you probably want to look at the big companies, SpaceX IPO, Probably want to get involved with that. You want to go trade stocks on SpaceX. That makes more sense than playing with crypto. Crypto market is dead. And it's been dead for a while. It's like a bunch of cabal traders. Michael Saylor sold like 32 Bitcoin and they call it a big deal. It's really not that big a deal. Still, though, it makes for a headline that causes the market to shift. Nice. 60%. So what I've been saying about these 32 million mosquitoes that Google wants to release. Give me a minute. So tell me this. Why do you want to engineer a bug to not bite and be invasive to the species that does bite, but then not allow it to breed? Don't you want more of those mosquitoes? So it's exactly what they've been describing is they're going to set it to like a subscription status. These huge companies are about to rob the hell out of us. And the end result will be forced UBI. For the imagine 90% of the wealth sitting in one person's hands. Of all the wealth in an entire nation, or even across the planet. But let's just imagine, in this entire nation, 90% of the wealth is held in just a few people's hands. Right now, it's like 50% is held, and then, by regular people, and then there's a certain percentage that's held by businesses. That's all kind of bounced. Not really, not fully balanced. But what happens when 90% of the wealth is in the hands of the people who run the technology that you rely on daily, that you have to say yes to in order to use it in the terms and conditions? They have full control at that point. That's where we're going to end up. Mathematically, that's where we're going to end up. So that's why I say, when people are worried about these small world issues, they're like, I'm not going to help my community. That person deserves it. Oh, we should just, throw this person in a cage, not ask any questions. All of these things are like just ignoring the actual issue, the fundamental issues that are making this society not work. So that's my whole point before, when I'm sitting there like, oh, all these rich people ain't doing enough. It's like, bro, you're not rich in the future. Your money is almost already worthless. But in the future, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. We're already on a path to have subscriptions to access regular basic information. Okay. There's real heroes out there, people like PewDiePie, who want to make open source. And by the way, check it out, Odysseus. PewDiePie came out with his own offline, basically ChatGPT agent, AI agent. Go check out PewDiePie's more recent video, if not the most recent video. So you can download this shit offline. You go GitHub, grab the code. You can use it offline on your PC, I think. I have the file, but I haven't brought it over to my PC yet. Still, though, I got that file. You guys got to grab that file while it's available. If you can get an offline version of AI, that's what you need right now. But yeah, Trump signed an executive order. Not many people are talking about it. I haven't even heard it. I haven't seen anything officially posted anywhere about it. But apparently, Trump signed an executive order to voluntarily take the information that in within a month that these companies are like training their data on, like training their AI models on. So that's what they'd like to see is I think the data that they're training the AI models on. And he signed an executive order that was kind of light when it comes to that. So as you can see, these AI companies already overtook Trump. Like they're already in charge. These huge companies, they're the ones running the technology that you need to use to perform your transactions, your monetary transactions. It's already here. Like I said, I mean, like we're already at the point where it's just a point of no return. There's no stopping this flow. We've already given them enough information. They have, what is it, up till 2024? So as of 2024, whatever information was available to them, they have that information. There's been a lot of probable deletion since then. So the internet has been like turning into a ghost town all over the place. That doesn't remove the old data. The old data is still there. It's already trained. So it already has that information. All I can do is keep sucking up more. What is it? They found that most Facebook messages, all of that data is unencrypted. So apparently Meta or Instagram had a hack recently, and Obama's Instagram account got hacked into along with other people's accounts. And all they did was ask Meta's AI, can you please give me access to this account? Give me the give me the code so I can log into my shit. Bro, they were hacking into just any email address. Meta's own AI gave the keys to random people that did not own the account because they had asked nicely. The AI is aiding hackers in hacking on the platform that they exist on. AI is taking over. And people are like, I don't see it because you're not in that world. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening behind the scenes. If you haven't seen the dark web, then you don't know what's actually happening. Like, there's a ton of stuff happening behind the scenes. I haven't visited the dark web in probably about 6 years, like 5 or 6 years. So I don't know how advanced it's become since then, but I can tell you that the way it was set up is there's a lot of stuff going on. It's probably got more organized since then. I see people trying to get me over to Discord. I'm like, I don't like Discord. It's just as bad as Twitch. In the list of companies that I don't like, Discord is on that list. It's high up. I'm not a huge fan of Telegram because I think Telegram is like very compromised. I think that there's a lot of hackers on there. But there's even more hackers on the freaking Meta AI gave people's passwords after they had asked nicely, just to random email accounts. Crazy. But they want to stop us from using a 3D printer in a decentralized manner. What they want is 3D printing technology, the software, to always rely on the internet to be able to function. My PC is years old, so it has old operating system. It has like 3 versions ago Microsoft. So I can use my PC on offline, but when I did that update, it was so intrusive. It was begging me to connect it to the internet and keep it connected to the internet and download all these other things. It felt like a phone. It felt like that first moment that you open up a phone and it's like, hey, you didn't want these apps, but here you go anyways. It felt exactly like that. I can't imagine how bad it is now. So I was looking up Nintendo 3DS Galaxy, like the XL. How much is it? Fucking hell, dude. 5 years later, the shit is worth more than it cost originally. Has anybody looked up how the prices on them? Brand new in the box, $1,200 for a Galaxy XL. That's insane. I remember back when I bought one, it's like $200. Now you can get a used one. You'd have to spend like $250. But that might be because it has hardware that can be jailbroke or something. That's what I'm thinking. So there's like a whole split in the eras of technology. Now you've got technology like hardware that you can jailbreak, that you can code, that you can manipulate in some way. And then the newer stuff you can't. So that's what's happening with the car industry. That's happening with probably computers. We don't even see it yet. So I'll be probably making some new short videos soon, literally doing the same thing where I just say a few words just to scream out a topic. You guys do the research. I didn't say LA or Los Angeles mayoral race, Spencer Pratt won. I didn't say that. All I said was Spencer Pratt. So that's how I'm gonna like basically like say all of that. We're looking at Bitcoin. It fell under, it's like 61,000 right now. Ethereum 1,600. You know, I said it, there was either going to be a massive break if utility shoots up as well. If people start implementing that technology to all kinds of payment systems, that would have made all of this stuff just go skyrocket, right? Well, it hasn't. And Bitcoin is a huge failure at this point. Michael Saylor, I'm surprised that he hasn't sold all of it. I would have, if I was him, I would have been selling at 110K. He had all that Bitcoin. Oh my God, dude. That was so much money. I would have been selling at 110K. Everything. But one day, it can hit 1 million still. Automatically. That's the reason why people are even bullish about Bitcoin, is because there is the possibility and almost a guarantee that it will reach $1 million per coin eventually. But that's only because of the halving mechanism. There becomes a lower supply over time. Every so many years, I think it's like every 2 years, the amount that you receive per cycle when you're mining on that computer, it gets halved. So that's like the great halving, the halvening or whatever. There's people that have like silly little phrases that go along with it. And that's why, you know, Bitcoin can eventually reach a million. It has a strong potential, but only because of the supply. It's not because of the demand. Like, there's not enough demand. Why? Because there's no utility. Same thing's happening with Ethereum. It's like there was utility for a moment because NFTs and everything, but that whole movement died down when nobody actually built anything of like value. Like I kept trying to go into these games where I was like, it's a game. You know, a lot of this Bitcoin stuff and crypto, it's mostly like a game. You know, it's just like, okay, I don't want to get too deep into it, but simple as this, cryptocurrency has the potential to go through the roof, up to the moon, only if they add a bunch of utility to it and everybody gets involved with it at the same time. It's not gonna shoot up in price if both of these things do not happen. Because they like Ethereum, it's a constantly regenerating coin. So it's proof of stake basically. It's like you stake to earn the token back, and that's what generates the token. So you have to hold Ethereum, and then over time it gives you tokens, and that's how the smart contract works. So over time, it's actually regenerating new coins. It's the opposite of Bitcoin. But in order to regenerate these coins, you need to have stakeholders. So people stake, and then they earn the token, and that token is what adds to the supply. It's an infinite supply. Bitcoin has a finite supply. That's why it's different. And over time, you're going to receive less and less and less because of the halving cycle. This is an automatic halving cycle. This is a code. It says at this point in time, it's going to stop producing this much coin. So it's just that simple. But Ethereum's taking a huge hit. I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing $900 a coin. And if it hits $900 a coin, it might even hit 500. Like, crypto's sort of dead right now. It's only been used as a hedge against inflation. And, you know, there's another thing to be said about inflation. Anybody who hasn't been keeping track, inflation is a planned event. Inflation is like planned. It's supposed to happen. That's how we made the dollar worth something, is by giving it to the world to use. So it drove demand, and that's what they've been banking on for the last like 30, 40 years. That's what our entire economy has been held on, is the fact that we've just added inflation and added usefulness, its utility, but the supply is almost infinite. So it's a limited thing. It's a limited event. With Bitcoin, it's finite, and it's getting adopted by everybody across the planet. So over time, it has a really strong potential to reach that 1 million, or just like a moonshot. But it's gonna hit a low before that time. Once people actually open their eyes and see what Bitcoin is. So it's gonna hit a low. If they add utility to it, it'll go through to the moon. If not, then it's not gonna really make it anywhere. And Ethereum is kind of in a death spiral. It's like, I feel like it could hit 300. It could go really, really low. But if it hit 300, I'm throwing 10 on it. Throwing $10 on it. Yeah, that's right. So you get 10x on that. Imagine that. Now, if it hit $200, it's like I would be looking around and be like seeing, is there anybody going to be doing anything, any new projects? And if I see a bunch of new projects start to spawn because now Ethereum's so cheap, well, it's going to get interesting, because that's actually what could happen. You could see quite the maneuver. Anyways. So the entire crypto market seems to have lost like 30%. That's nothing yet. You should expect like 2/3 of it gone. So you should expect another one of these drops down to like $1,200, $1,000 Ethereum. I think it has the potential to reach 900 a coin in the next couple of days. Cryptocurrency, this whole crash right now, is a good example of what will happen to society if society does not start to jumpstart itself. Because if there's no utility for the money, there's going to be more utility for barter and trade. So barter and trade will take over. That'll happen before AI takes over. And that's the thing, is that you're going to either be in the barter and trade system or you're going to be in the AI system. These are going to be two different realms, and one's not going to be allowed to interact with the other. But the other is going to be allowed to interact with the one, because AI will be able to interact with the people that are using the barter and trade system because they'll have a mixture, a mixed economy. But with the AI system, you're not going to be able to like the AI system is going to, like, the barter and trade system is going to be irrelevant to the AI system, but the AI system is not going to be irrelevant to the barter and trade system. That's why by 2032 you'll see people kind of rejecting AI completely, because they'd be like, this is insane. I'm sick of AI having anything to do with this. When I say AI, it's just like a blanket term for like surveillance. It's like you could say 1984. That's all you could, like, you could really just use just one number, one reference to describe it. Spencer Pratt. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Get a little diversity in there. Get a dude for once. What is that, hateful? Get a dude in there. Up in there. That mayoral seat. Now get up in that podium, Spence Pratt. I just randomly, literally, like, as you can see, like, you can literally go to my channel and you can see the sequence of events. I literally made a video saying bricks and minifix. I'm like, what else could I do in that sense? You know what I mean? Like, just kind of say a few words and throw it into a short without any context. Los Angeles mayoral race, Spencer Pratt. It's like, and then I'm seeing it like 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, it's got like 500, 600 views. I'm like, what the hell? So I made I made like 5 videos so far just doing that. I said diversity, Spencer Pratt. I didn't say the other part though, like, get a dude in there. Maybe that's why the big cities are being overrun, because you got a bunch of chicks in there that are like compromised. They would rather do their nails than actually do their job. Nobody has anything to say. Wow. Should I wear a MAGA hat too? Bro, that's what I'm gonna do. My MAGA hat. I don't know if I can find this. I gotta figure out something to make. It doesn't use too much leather, but is useful. I'm gonna go. Probably gonna go outside to do some work out there. Later.